Hey, welcome in. Well, Jordan Peterson has been absolutely hammering Trudeau lately. And personally, I like it. Here's the headline. Peterson says Trudeau would resign if he had an ounce of integrity. Well, we know he doesn't have that, so I guess he's not going to resign. So what happened? Well, apparently Prime Minister Justin Trudeau tweeted congratulations to the newly elected president of Chile, Gabriel Boric. He said, "I called President Gabriel Boric today to congratulate him on his inauguration. We also spoke about deepening cooperation in the Americas, especially when it comes to tackling climate change and defending democracy." That's right, because Trudeau's the best guy to talk to about that. And we reaffirmed our support for Ukraine and its people. But it's this defending democracy part that's kind of stuck in Jordan Peterson's craw. Let's hear what he had to say. Defending democracy, says the man who bought the lies of his paid stooges at CBC News, froze bank accounts, falsely claimed foreign interference, and brought in an act meant only to be used for war or utter catastrophe, and then photo-opped around Europe to escape the consequences. And he's talking about the Emergencies Act there, obviously. Now we have this part where it says that he bought the lies of his paid stooges at CBC News. To me, it's indistinguishable from if they were just the same just parts of the same organization, as if the CBC was just an arm of the Liberal Party of Canada, taking orders directly from Trudeau. It's indistinguishable from that to me. And I have no proof that they're actively coordinating with each other or colluding with each other, you might say. It's just indistinguishable from if they were doing that. And when that's the case, it doesn't really matter if they are or aren't. I mean, you just end up with the same result. But I have to say, the Europe trip didn't really go that well for him. Here's an article. World laughs as Trudeau claims to stand against authoritarianism. Now, he made this statement in a speech that standing against authoritarianism 24 hours after the vote for the Emergencies Act. Can't make that up. And then once he was over there, well, he had a visit with Boris Johnson at number 10 Downing Street. Apparently, he had to go in the back entrance. And the reason he had to go in the back entrance is because they were anti-Trudeau protest crowds that were blocking the usual entrance, with chants of F Trudeau that could still be heard during his official photo op with Johnson. How about this? Europe rolls its eyes at Justin Trudeau, but the Queen was nice to him. Well, yeah, the Queen's nice to everybody, but secretly, she hates him, right? She's been around a long time, and she knows a slime ball when she sees one, I'm sure. Let's see, after his audience with Johnson, Trudeau then attended a joint press conference with the British leader and Dutch Prime Minister. There, foreign leaders quickly noticed that the Canadian Prime Minister doesn't actually answer questions from the press. Yeah, Trudeau speaks exclusively in platitudes, and he likes to tell Canadians what their values are. Apparently, it doesn't go over so well overseas. Let's see, after the press conference ended, some of the Dutch journalists commented on how PM Trudeau didn't directly answer questions. Let's see some examples. When asked about whether Canada would be boosting its military budget to meet the NATO spending target of 2% of GDP, what did he say? Quote, "We need to make sure that women and men in the Canadian Armed Forces have all the equipment necessary to be able to stand strongly, as we always have as members of NATO." Well, you'll notice that he says women and men. Women has to come first, of course, because current year. And didn't you know that Trudeau's the bestest feminist ever? Most women, smart women know, you never trust a male feminist. They're always the worst slimeballs. This is a lesson that Canada is learning a little too late, unfortunately. Let's see, when asked about whether Canada would be using its petroleum sector to help Europe lessen its dependence on Russian oil, well, you know that Trudeau's going to have something nonsensical to say about this. Quote, "We need to move forward on decarbonizing our economies, but we need to do that in a way that supports people through that process, and we're going to continue doing that." So, not answering the question. Move forward on decarbonizing our economies. That's what they're worried about. Their economy's being decarbonized. They want it recarbonized. They need it. Because guess what happens when you decarbonize your economy? Your house isn't warm in the winter. The lights go off. People go hungry. This is that spot where platitudes meet reality. And, reality is going to win that, no matter how much it makes Greta Thunberg cry. Personally, I think she should just go back to school, for God's sake. But anyway, Peterson wasn't done with Trudeau quite yet. He continues, if he had an ounce of integrity, he'd resign. But if he'd had an ounce of integrity, he wouldn't have run for PM on nothing but his superficial charm and the name brand recognition of the Trudeau dynasty. Yeah, that's it. I mean, he doesn't even have the charm anymore. He's just a haircut at this point. I mean, maybe if he grows back the salt and pepper goatee, maybe that'll bump him up a couple points. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious at this point that when Trudeau claims to stand against authoritarianism, he's doing it wrong. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. That really helps me out. If you just like to listen, there's the podcast Radio Baloney. It's on pretty much every platform. If you look for it, you will find it. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.